accidentally took the wrong bag at the airport. It's full of teeth. Human teeth by the looks of it. Molars, incisors, and every tooth in between. It had to be about 40 pounds of teeth tightly wrapped in potato sacks inside a blue duffel bag that looked identical to mine. I wish I had double-checked the contents at the airport, but I was so exhausted by my flight that I just wanted to get home. And now all my clothes, toiletries, and Hawaiian souvenirs are gone, replaced by a bag that belongs to either the tooth fairy or some psychotic dentist. Seriously, how the hell did this get through security? I put on some kitchen gloves and dug around through the teeth, hoping to find some form of identification. There was nothing. Nothing but more teeth. Then I received a text on my phone that stiffened my entire back. Where are my fucking teeth? I was more confused than ever. Was the person who expected this bag seriously texting this phone right now? How did they get my number? Instinctively, I looked around my empty apartment, threatened by the message. But of course, the only movement was my own reflection on the balcony glass. Then my phone received a picture of an open blue duffel bag. Inside was my red summer shorts, along with my surfboard keyring and tiki mask magnet. They have my stuff. You have our teeth, and we know who you are. There came another picture of a crumpled form I filled out to go scuba diving. It was left in the outer pocket of my duffel bag. My name was listed. My address. Even my phone number. Oh shit. Then I received a call from an unknown caller. I put the phone on the ground and let it ring out. Each ring sent a buzz through my hardwood floor and a shiver up to my neck. Another text. We know where you live, give us the teeth. Terrible scenarios flooded my mind. Men wearing balaclavas bursting through the door with army boots and pointing their gleaming knives at my face. Zap straps tightening around my feet and hands, cutting off all circulation. Days of being locked in a cargo container and having to suck the moisture from filthy puddles for sustenance. Okay, relax. Chill. I had a habit of watching too much true crime. I ran through the options. They all seemed like imperfect solutions. 1. I could call the police, but I didn't know if they could help me. They would have no idea who this tooth person is either. I doubt they would put me in witness protection based on a few texts. 2. I could go stay at a hotel in a different town, but how long would I have to wait? They know where I live. They could visit at any time. I'd be living in danger. Before I could stop myself, I texted back. This was an accident. I'll give you back the bag. I didn't mean to take it. I stayed there, kneeling by the tooth bag, waiting for a reply. You will drop the bag at Redacted Park. There is a wooden bench on the south end dedicated to the fire hall. You will place the bag beneath there at 10 p.m. I breathed a sigh of relief. Instructions. Clean and simple. That park was across from my apartment. I could do that no problem. Another text. And you must add one of your front teeth. My throat tightened. What? I quickly texted back. What do you mean? Because of your interference. A price must be paid. One of your front teeth. They can't be serious. I stood up and closed the blinds on my balcony, paranoid that someone can see me. I had typed the single word "why," but never hit send. How could they even know if I added a tooth in or not? There were thousands of teeth in that bag. I lightly touched my 2 front teeth, so firmly planted in the roof of my mouth. How would I even pull a tooth out? Arriving around 9:30 p.m., the park was pretty cold. Most nights it snowed this time of year, but luckily it had been pretty dry for a while, so I didn't need to wear too many layers. The bench dedicated to the fire hall was easy to find, and I shoved the tooth bag directly beneath it with a paper note on top. Sorry about the mix-up. I sat on the bench for a little bit, pretending to look at my phone. There was an old man out for a walk through the park, and a young couple with their dog. I didn't want them to think I was dropping off a bomb or drugs or something, so I stuck around for a bit and smoked a single cigarette. 1 cigarette turned to 3, then 4. I couldn't help myself. I was nervous. Would they know I didn't add my teeth? After considering it back and forth in the apartment, I left my front teeth alone. If they really wanted some extra teeth, I figured I could stop by a dental office on a later date and get them all the teeth they wanted. I just couldn't bring myself to grab a wrench and pry perfectly healthy teeth out of my own mouth. At 9:53, the park emptied out and it started to get freezing. It was my cue to exit. I took one last drag, exhaled a large plume of smoke, and I saw it contour around the edges of a strange, unseeable shape. It was really odd. It felt like there was something invisible standing only inches away. As I tried to move forward, a bone-like hand found my throat. 2 yellow eyes appeared, floating in the air. Filthy liar. You didn't add your pain. What? The powerful grip lifted me by the throat. I brought my hands down against a wiry, invisible arm. Each tooth remembers. The voice came as a seething whisper. Every tooth retains the pain from when it was pulled. My assailant lifted me a whole foot above the ground. I couldn't breathe. Lord Fowl needs his shipment of pain. You delayed it. Please, I tried to say, but could only make a choking sound. Gook, ack. The entity dropped me to the ground. I inhaled and immediately tried to crawl away, but an invisible knee pinned me down. And now, you must top off the pain with a fresh garnish. 2 invisible hands forced their way into my mouth and pried open my jaw. I tried to fight back, to close my mouth, but it was no use. This entity, whatever it was, had incredible strength. A fresh dollop of pain will rejuvenate the supply. M2 frontmost teeth, my buck teeth, were effortlessly bent outward and snapped off. I shrieked from the pain. Tears streamed instantly. That's for stealing our bag. As if my teeth were the tabs on a soda can, the entity began to bend each one outward. All my upper front teeth, then my lower. One by one. That's for lying. That's for screaming. That's for being effing irritating. My gums became a fountain of blood. The pain in my mouth was catastrophic, each nerve ending raw and on fire. I tried to scream for help, but the knee on my chest weighed down harder. Soon I could barely make a sound. The hands plucked out all my bent broken teeth like a series of pull tabs. Quick, quick, quick! Lord Fowl will be most pleased. The bony fingers traveled further into my mouth. Sharp nails dug beneath my molars and pulled. The last thing I remember was looking up and seeing the yellow eyes stare back at me. 2 glowing moons from hell. I almost bled to death that night. Thankfully someone found me passed out in the park and called an ambulance, which took me into a hospital, where I recovered for 6 days straight. My mouth was a wreck. Every single tooth ripped out. Every single one. There were half-inch wounds all over the roof and floor of my mouth. No conventional dentures would even fit in my desiccated gums. It took 3 months of visiting the dentist to slowly reconstruct what was destroyed. And even now, I still have to wear 2 different sets of dentures. One for daytime, which allowed me to carefully chew food, and one for nighttime, which slowly bent my F-ed gums back into place. I have no idea what the hell attacked me that night. I don't really want to think about it. Or about what happened to that duffel bag full of teeth. I've since moved cities, as you might expect. In fact, I no longer live in the US. I've moved far away. Most importantly, I bought a custom-built suitcase off the internet with zebra stripes. I've pinned bright yellow plastic stars all over, and many other identifiers too. It might look like a tacky eyesore, but I'll never confuse it for someone else's bag. If you're ever at the airport, and you recognize my bag from this story, I give you permission to come up and say hi. I make it a point to try and meet friendly people and move forward with my life. Who knows, if you catch me in the right mood, I may even show you my removable teeth. As far as I know, I'm the only 27-year-old with full-blown grandma dentures.